the call to be deeper than, wider than, more mature than, broader like the vast sky, deep like the fathomless ocean. This capacity that we have to deepen, this capacity that we have to open wider, we forget because we get lost in the machinations of mind and the drama of emotional body, nervous system, the drama of the world, which is pervasive and addictive, the drama of our lives, which is pervasive and addictive. And all of these things in some way have to be met and dealt with. And we can devise strategies and develop ourselves. And all of those aspects, all of those things are kind of noble, useful. But at the end, in a way, what we have to do is make profoundly deep decisions for ourselves and remember those deep decisions of how we are going to meet life, how we are going to meet our experience, how we are going to meet ourselves and others. Because the only really useful and healing and transformative way of meeting oneself and meeting others, which is the world ultimately, is in depth, is in presence, is in openness, is in the kindness that isn't melodramatic or nostalgic or romantic. And in order to do that, one has to be prepared to meet oneself. And if one is making that intention, decision to meet oneself, well then that's it, isn't it? Then life hears you, and then you start being called to meet your life, to meet yourself, to meet your feelings, to meet what comes up and what comes in the same way. Because you can't just make the choice, right, I'm going to meet life and myself from a deeper place, and then that's it. Because it just doesn't work like that. Because in order to get deeper, you have to, as I said in a previous video, there has to be some sort of purification. There has to be some sort of ongoing meeting. There has to be some resolution to aspects of ourselves. There has to be a resolution of the past for there to be a revolution of self into presence. And this resolution of the past is where a lot of people get stuck. Because the past seems to have its tentacles, seems to have its rope around us, around our leg. And no matter how far we seem to go from the past, here it is. Are we dragging it around, or is it dragging us back? Why? Ultimately, we're dragging it around. And it's that. Because you can't possibly get deeper into the present unless the past is resolved. And here we are again, talking about the resolution of the past. And if there is something that is worthy of saying, it is, if there is some sort of freedom wanted in some way, shape or form, maybe the magic of enlightenment, or maybe a simple peace that passeth the neurotic mind, or the neurotic emotional mind, a nervous system that is constantly locked in fight or flight or reactivity. If there is a true calling, a true desire for a peace beyond all of that, then the past has to be resolved one way or another, somehow. And that doesn't mean it's a clean slate. It just means it's no longer got its heat in you and its hook in you, because you're able to allow it to be the way it was and to be the way that it is. And that's the profound thing. That's the difficult thing, because the unforgiveness, the heat of it, lives in our whole system. And I've talked about this endlessly, about the calling to deal with the whole system. We can't just decide on it from the mind. It has to be the heart and the reactive nervous system that gets involved. And it becomes a profound journey, the journey of in effect, the journey of healing. So really, this video is just a simple calling to attention that it's time always to meet oneself and to meet life ever deeper, more mature, more wise, more open, more clear, more present. But in order to do that, we also have to meet the past more clear, more present, more kind, more open. Otherwise we're still caught as children almost, or as victims of a past. And at some point we have to get over that. We have to get beyond that. That has to be released. The ghosts of the past must be released somehow. And that somehow is almost the primary aspect of that is the decision within us. The how arises from the decision within us. That we are going to release the ghosts of the past because it's time. And that calls us to a kind of strength, an inner strength, the warrior within, the warrior who's willing to face whatever comes. The Mara, Buddha under the Bodhi tree as the Maras come. All spiritual masters have met either their own suffering, always their own suffering, and the suffering of others, and the opening to the world, all, one way or another, in different ways, but always in some ways in the same way. It's not just thought, it's deep realization and deep purification and deep meeting. The Christian mystics were like this. You become humble by facing what is arising and what was arising and what still has its hooks into you. Because as long as those hooks are hooked into you, there is no real peace. And that is part of the journey.